Welcome back. Please join me for part 2 of our little Golden Book junk journal. We have our cover ready to go. Now it's time to start on the inside. I told you what paper pack I'm using. Also, you're going to need extra papers for the filling of the junk journal. You can choose those, whatever you like. And I still have some tape sticking out down here, so I need to get that cut off. I don't think I angled my scissors enough to get in there. All right, got it off now. So let's start by, first we want to figure out what we want to use for our Christmas papers on the outside and on the inside. I don't know if I previously showed you guys this paper pack, but I'll do a quick flip through here. So I Love Christmas, designed by Lori Whitlock, and it's put out by Echo Park Paper Company. They're two-sided papers. Here's a beautiful poinsettia and a plaid. Here's some Christmas greenery and snowflakes, ornaments, and Christmas lights. Here's the Christmas stripe and reindeer. Here's some ABC cut-aparts. Those are cute. And this side is tan snowflakes. This is a Christmas design and a red with, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little like flower design in there. Snowmen and a Christmas design. Here's snowflakes and wreaths, more snowflakes, and candy stripe or candy cane stripe. And then here's more cut-aparts. Oh, I love that. Music, love that. And more cut-aparts with polka dots. Some long pieces that you can use for decorating your albums, your scrapbooks, and a green, and it has kind of a stripe in there. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. So, since this is a child's book, I want to pick something for the spines that kind of represent children a little bit. But I also want to keep good designs for making the folders and envelopes and such. So I'm going to use this for the spine, inner and outer. And that's what it's like on the other side. So I might use this on the outer and this on the inner, but we'll decide that later. So let's make our first pocket folder for this. And when I was going through, I thought I saw it perfect. I don't know, I like this ornament one. I really do. The inside is the lights, and this has enough white that they could journal on the inside of that. So I'm going to put this aside, and we will cut our pocket, our first folder. So our little golden book is about 6.5 inches across. I'm going to write that down. And we know it's 8 inches long. So this is 12. So it's 6.5, so this side to side is perfect. Going down, it's 8. And we want to come up, so we'll have a bit of a pocket under there. So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna cut off this branding strip. We do not need that on here. That aside. And then you're going to need your scoreboard. I use the We Are scoreboard. It folds in half, and then it's got these to make it sturdy for you. When you are scoring, it has this. It also has cutting, but my blade is dull, and this is an older We Are cutting board, and I cannot get those blades. The blades that they make now don't fit this. They fit the newer ones, which kind of breaks my heart because I really did like this cutting board too, but I like it for my scoreboard. So we're gonna score at 6 and go all the way down. And one thing I really like about this is the numbers don't start on the left, they start on the right, so you're not trying to score 1 inch over here in the way of what you're doing. Then we're gonna turn it this way. And we are going to score, actually we're going to turn it this way. We are going to score at the 8 mark. All right, put that aside for a minute. And we're going to fold on our score lines. And burnish that nice and straight. And we're going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to bring it up, use our bone folder and scoring tool that they give us with that, and go straight across. Then we're going to kind of use your fingers to tuck that part into going back in, and we're going to burnish that again, burnish this again, so that it will stay flat in our book. So now we need to close up our folder. These are our glitter glue. I'm gonna go just from the side down. And I go on the side that is the part that folds up, so I don't accidentally get too much glue in all the wrong places. All right, that one's done and ready to go in. So we're going to make another one. Let's do the snowman. So now we got 3 folders for our signatures. So now I want to make some envelopes. I like to put envelopes in the middle of my signatures to find it for a place for them to put mementos and such. And I like to have them sewn in. If they're only sewn in with the one, that means the envelope can turn and stuff, and that's not always what I want. I want it to be pretty sturdy. So I like to make them long enough that they will be able to go and be sewn into the signature. That goes 7.5. Looks 8.5. That gives me a 1/2 inch on each side. That should work, but I need to look at my envelope board. And see what size envelope would be around that size. So we're going to go by the card size because that will, so if you have a card that's 7.5, so it's 3.5 by 7.5, we're going to use a 9 by 9 size paper. To make our envelope. So we need to make 3 envelopes with 9 by 9 paper. So we're going to start by looking for 9 by 9 papers and get them cut with our cutting board and go from there. To start with, I think this would be a perfect envelope. So with that plaid, but we're only going to get 1 envelope per thing here. Not sure I want to use this for that. Not sure, but I really like that design. Plain red would be nice. Oh, I love the candy cane stripes, and I love the snow flakes, but I really love the candy cane. So I'm not sure which side of that I'll put inside and which side I'll put outside. This is really pretty, but I really don't want to use it for an envelope. Decisions, decisions. Okay, so we're going to use the poinsettias, a red, and the stripe, and I'm not sure which side of the stripe will be the inside, which will be the outside. So, let's get these cut. So we don't really need to cut the branding strips off of these in the beginning. It doesn't really matter because it's 9 by 9. The branding strip is going to come off anyway. We just have to be careful not to use that side when we're cutting out the 9 by 9. So here, 9. 9. So now we have to go back to this 9x9 paper, and our first score and punch is at 3 1/8. So I'm just going to make a little mark at the 3 1/8. So what that means is we put our paper in, we line it up at the 3 1/8. There's a score line over here, if you can see that. I don't know if that's showing up too well on camera. So we punch, and then we're going to score on that line, if I can find that line. Oh, that is... Then you turn and you line up this score line with this notch. Hope I'm in frame with that. And you're going to punch, and again you're going to score. Turn, line up the notch. Punch. Now we got another lot of unscores. Again, line up, punch, and score. All right, and then you can go on the other side and round your corners. So that is our first envelope. I'm going to go and get the others done and be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. Now I've got a Webster's Children's Dictionary, an old one, it's outdated. I've got a Children's Learn to Letter primary writing tablet. I've got graph paper. I've got accounting paper. And I've got some faux tea-dyed paper, or coffee-dyed paper. If you make your own tea-dyed, coffee-dyed papers, wonderful. I've not tried it. I've seen videos on how to do it, and I really do want to try it sometime in the future because it's, I think, would be a wonderful thing to do. So first we're gonna go through here. I want to find, see what it has at Christmas for any pictures, because I want some pictures in all this too. And children books usually have wonderful Christmas or wonderful pictures, but Christmas doesn't really. But this one does. I like this. Plus it's got a baby on it. So we'll go with this paper. Okay, and we're not going to worry about tearing it because it's a junk journal. And let's see if we can find some other neat pictures. I think I like this with the kids at the campfire and the cancel for the letter. All right, let's find another one. Let's go with this one. Okay. I like the bird. That's cute. Oh, I like this. All right. So let's get some of these out. And I want it 2 for each signature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So put those over there. And then we need 6 of these. Okay. Now, I did have doilies in the other one. So now we need to score everything in half. So we need our square board again. Get all these lined up. Okay, now that you have everything folded, you're going to crease all your papers. And don't worry about whether your fold is perfect in the middle. Most of these papers you're not going to see together. You're going to have an envelope in the very middle of the signature. So the only thing you're going to see even close together is that very last page and the signature. So let's get all these folded in half. My 3 signatures put together. One thing I forgot, my book is only 8 inches high, and these papers, a lot of them are 8.5. So I'm going to go back and cut everything down to 8, and I'll be back. Okay, so I have our 3 signatures. I have the 2 pieces of our book. And now we have our 3 folders. And now we're going to score our, we've scored our envelopes, now we're going to fold them. We are not going to put them together, glue them down or anything until we are totally done, because I like to put the stitching ends inside here and tie them so that they are not visible. And since you see how these are too long, we're going to have to cut them off. Which seems strange that they would have had us do an envelope that was too long for the top. Anywho, we'll take care of that in a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a pencil and we're going to mark where we need to cut these. And I think we're just going to this one I'm just going to cut straight across there. That will just be easiest. Okay, that one's done. The next ones we're going to mark where they need to be cut. So there and there. And we'll cut across there with our paper cutter. If you're good at cutting straight, you can do it, you know, freehand or by sight, but I am not good at that. The only reason I could do the other one was because there was a line there. So we're gonna line this up, try and find our marks again. And I like this handy dandy cutter because you can line it right up to where you're going to cut and know exactly where you're cutting. All right. The only problem with pencil is sometimes it's hard to see when you get down here. All right, so those are done. And like I said, they will go in the middle of our signatures to hide the stitching that we're going to be doing. Okay, now we're going to take, and I want this signature to be first. Then we got our book, Baby's Christmas. We're going to open to the center of it. And we're going to take this and put it around this part of the signature. Then we're going to open up and do this part. right, now my next signature is just plain. So it's just going to go behind this signature here. And then our last, oh, and our plain one needs an envelope in it. Let's go with this one. Okay. Okay, and now our last signature is the last part of the book. I tried to get them kind of sort of spread out. Your little golden books only have like 3 pages, well 6 pages per signature, but 3 when you're going to put them in here. So, okay, so I decided I wanted this folder for my first one. We'll use this folder for the middle. And we'll use this folder for the end. All right, so that part is done. We're going to set those to the side for a little bit and work on finishing our cover. Okay, so we're going to move on to our spine, and we are going to cut it out of the paper that I decided to use. I'm going to use this for the outside, maybe. I don't know. Let's switch it up. Since the cover is red, let's use this for the outside and this lighter color on the inside. I think I'll like that better. So, again, to remind ourselves, our spine is, now it's almost 2 inches, so it's 1 and well, 2 tiny marks behind the 2, and we know it's 8 long. So we're going to go here. It's these 2 tiny marks here, I believe. We'll cut that, and let's see if that's the right width. It is, so then 8 inches long. All right, then our inside, we know we made that 3 inches. So we want to make it 3 inches wide. By 8 inches long. So we're going to cut this the same width. This is our Sizzix permanent adhesive. It's a lot like your score tape, but it's in sheets instead of on a roll. So, and then, so let's get that put on there. And we got one for our 3-inch wide. This isn't 3. I can probably do that number on it. Do it sideways and we'll be good to go. So we'll cut a piece like this, 3 inches wide. Alrighty. Let's get these put on first. Again, it's a little bit wider, so we will adjust that. We'll burnish those down. And we will do our 3-inch wide one. I wanted the greenery to show on the inside. Okay, and we'll burnish those down. I'm going to cut off any excess that is hanging over. Okay. Do the same on this. All right. Now it's time to attach these. I think the hardest one to attach will be this one. So we'll get that done first. I'm going to leave that bottom stick 'em on till I get the top here done. really been sticking to my fingers, and my fingers are now sticky. So having that extra little edge there to hang on to until I get this on is wonderful. So now let's burnish that all down. And move on to the inside. Here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up with our piece that we already have there. Come down and burnish that in place. Now I see another little bit of tape that didn't come off yet. Must have missed when I was cutting that earlier. Okay, so we have that in. And again, we're going to find where our actual spine is at. Bring that up. And do the same thing with this side. Okay. So I used a lighter paper on the inside of here, which is going to make it easier to line my template up and see where I mark with my template. So we're going to go like this. Here's the bottom, here's the top. We're going to go right here in the middle of this. And we're going to take our pencil. And we're going to make the marks. Then we're going to take our long, I am using a long punch from We Are Memory Keepers, and I like this. It works very well for me. I don't have to worry. I use the smallest punch. The 1/8 inch punch. And you can just line right up. Show you how that works. It just lines right up. Or if you change to the other one, the bottom one comes out. So very nice. And you can see where it's going to punch when you're coming down to make sure that you are lined up with where you actually want to punch. And it punches very easily. We've got our holes all made. Now the next thing we need to do is mark our books as to where not our books, but our signatures as to where those holes need to be. So that is next on our list. So we're going to go to the center and open it up. Now on here, you just have to line your template up because you're only making one hole. So you just have to line it up with the center fold of your book. I think to make that easier, I'm going to score on this line and fold it. so that I can line it up with the fold in the book easier. All right, so the fold in the book is right there. I'm gonna put this in here, line it up at the top and the bottom. And then I'm gonna take a marker, I think, to make the mark, because I think it will be a lot easier to see on this dark paper than what pencil would be. And this will not show when it's done because you're going to close up your envelope. Okay, so I got that one marked. And if you need to put clips on this to hold it in the place that you need it in, then by all means do that. And excuse my head if it's in the frame, but I need to be able to see where these holes go. These, being that it's very thick, are a little bit harder to punch through, but it works. Okay, I'm going to punch the rest of them and I will be right back. Okay, so we have our signatures ready. We have our book ready. And now we're going to sew our signatures into our book. So we want to make sure they're in the right order. There's number 1. This is number 3. So this needs to go in the back. This is number 2. This is number 3. All right. So let's get started with that. We are using waxed binding thread. And I found this set on Amazon, so you can easily find a set there of what you want. So we're gonna get our needle threaded. All right, so take your first signature, open to the center, and you're gonna go down the center hole. And through the center hole of the far left. Okay. Pull that through. And once you get that pulled through, you're going to come up to the top hole and go through that and go through your signature up there. pull that through there. Then you're going to go down through your bottom signature, the bottom hole of your signature, and go through to the bottom of the book binding. And you're going to find yourself stringing your papers on. You might, if I don't like to use the bigger hole punch on this, I like to use the smaller one. I like the looks of it better, but if you use the bigger one, it might be easier to do this part. But as I said, I prefer the smaller hole. Okay, and pull that. You may have to add more string. I think we'll be fine. So then you come back down and go through your middle hole, back up through your binding. And hopefully your middle hole will be easier to get back up through because you went through it once. But that's not always the case. There we go. And then you pull up through there and you pull it tight. And you want to make sure your back stitches are tight. You're going to pull this string all the way through. And then you want to make sure you have one string on each side of the binding of the string there. Pull tight. I'm going to cut this off. This out of the way. Take this off, pull tight, and then you're gonna knot it. And you want to do several knots to keep it tight and closed. And as I said, once we're done with this envelope, this will not show, and I'm out of frame, aren't I? Sorry about that. So we want this good and tight and closed. I do not cut my strings very short because I'm covering them with that envelope anyway, and it gives them less chance of coming apart. So I'm going to do the next two signatures, and then we will be back. Okay, it's time to finish up and embellish our junk journal. And I'm simply going to do embellishments by using the sticker sheets from this paper collection. So we're also going to finish up our envelopes. So I don't like to put embellishments on the actual paper that is from the book. I like to keep that as intact as possible. I do put embellishments on the papers that you can journal on, just to add something just a little special. So we have this nice Noel sticker. I'm going to stick this up here. And this journal has more pages in it per signature than I would normally do. I did this with the thought that somebody might want to use it to record the milestones of their child in the first year. Put the drum down there. We put a snowflake up here. Now here's our first envelope to finish off, and I cut about 1 inch off of the top. I used my paper cutter and cut 1 inch off the top of those so that it would not be too long. So I'm going to use the art glitter glue, and I am going to just put it along the edge here of the flap. And put that over. Hold it down a couple minutes. So it can glue in place, and then put this here. And to hold this closed, I thought I would use these Velcro stickers. Yeah. So I will just take one of them like this and hook it onto one like this, with the fabric side down. Pull that off. Now it's already got adhesive on it, but I don't know how much I can trust that, so I'm going to put a little extra adhesive on each side. Put that down in there, and then that way they can just, well, the adhesive's not sticking yet, so I'm going to leave that for now to get stuck. All right, now I'm going to close this back up because otherwise our glitter glue will dry out. All right, let's move along. All right, so this is the end of our book. Again, you can add more embellishment if you like. I am going to be putting a heavy book on here to hold this because this inside here is not retaining the memory yet, which is not unusual when you first make an album or something. You have to help the paper have the memory that you want it to bend there and stay bent there. So that is what I will be doing with that. And that is our little golden book junk journal. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment in the section below. Have you made junk journals before? Have you done the little golden book junk journals? How did you do them? And I will see you next time. Happy crafting, everyone.